Somewhere in Florida, a retired nurse is paying less per month than your Hulu subscription for an entire house with a yard near the beach. You've been told warm retirement means choosing between broke or bored, between snowbird communities that cost six figures or trailer parks that flood every hurricane season. But what if that's just well-packaged fiction? We spent 3 months analyzing 23 warm weather towns based on cost, healthcare, taxes, and whether your retirement money actually lasts. Some of these places look boring, some look amazing, and a few will probably surprise you. From dirt cheap and remote to polished and premium, these are 23 retirement towns ranked from quiet to lively, and from affordable to aspirational. One town on this list has property that costs less than a used Toyota, another banned chain restaurants, and somehow got better pizza. And our number one pick, everyone will probably guess number two. But number one will shock you. It's cheaper than Naples, quieter than Sarasota, and still 15 minutes from the Gulf. Fair warning, some of these rankings will probably start arguments in the comments. And that's exactly the point. Hit subscribe, because by minute 30, you'll either be packing boxes or questioning everything Zillow ever told you. And don't skip ahead, because the difference between number 23 and number 10 is the difference between just surviving and actually enjoying retirement. Let's start with number 23. Number 23, Sebring, Florida, where retirees spend their golden years. Listening to race cars scream past at 180 miles per hour? Yeah, you read that right. And yes, this is the cheapest place on the list so far. But cheap and good are not always the same thing. This is home to Sebring International Raceway, which means if you retire here, your soundtrack includes V8 and your neighbor's early bird dinner conversations. Population? Just over 10,700. And here's the thing, Sebring is sneaky affordable. Median home price sits around $200,000. Rent for a one-bedroom averages $888 per month, which is 45% lower than the national average. Translation, your dollar stretches like hot taffy in July. And this is the trade-off you're going to see over and over in this video. The cheaper it gets, the more you give up somewhere else. So the real question is, what are you personally willing to give up? Florida has no state income tax, Social Security, untaxed. Property taxes in Highlands County average around 0.95%, which won't make you weep into your morning coffee. Healthcare, you've got two solid options right in town. Advent Health Sebring and HCA Florida Highlands Hospital. Both are full-service facilities. Advent Health even has a burn center and a stroke unit. So if your pickleball game gets a little too intense, you're covered. Now let's talk climate. Sebring sits smack in Central Florida, which means summers are aggressive. We're talking highs pushing 95 degrees in July and August, with humidity so thick you could bottle it. But here's the catch. Sebring is quiet, like one Panera quiet. Entertainment options include the raceway, a lake, and that's mostly it. If your idea of nightlife is Dairy Queen closing at 9 p.m., you're home. Good for budget-conscious retirees who like peace, decent health care, and don't mind the occasional roar of an Audi R8. Not for anyone who thinks Target is a human right. And if you think Sebring is quiet, the next town makes Sebring look like Miami. It's cheaper in some ways and better in others, and worse in a few ways nobody advertises. Number 22, Harlingen, Texas. Population, 71,900. Deep in the Rio Grande Valley, practically waving distance from Mexico. This is Palm Tree, Texas, where it's hot, affordable, and surprisingly quiet after 9 p.m. And this is where things get interesting. The numbers here are ridiculous, but keep this in mind, because one of the top 10 towns solves this exact problem in a much smarter way. Median home price, around $229,000, which is 28% below the national average. Rent for a one-bedroom averages $845 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 19% lower than the U.S. average. Texas has no state income tax. Your Social Security check? completely untouched. And if you're over 65, the state offers property tax freezes that lock in your rate forever. Yeah, you read that correctly. Healthcare here is solid. Valley Baptist Medical Center Harlingen has been serving the Rio Grande Valley since 1925. It's a 460-bed acute care hospital with everything from cardiology to the region's first comprehensive stroke center. Not bad for a town this size. Climate-wise, Harlingen is aggressively sunny. We're talking 300-plus days of sunshine per year. Summer highs push 95 to 98 degrees from June through September, with humidity that makes your shirt stick to you like cling wrap. But here's the trade-off. Harlingen is culturally rich. Tex-Mex food, festivals, mariachi. But it's not exactly buzzing with nightlife. The Sonic Drive-In doubles as the social hub. And if you need a Whole Foods, you're driving to McAllen. Good for retirees who want warm winters, low taxes, strong health care, and don't mind the occasional mosquito the size of a hummingbird. Not for anyone who thinks entertainment means more than H-E-B and a Dairy Queen run. A local said it perfectly. In Harlingen, you can afford to retire. You just can't afford to stay awake past 10. So let me ask you, would you trade big city amenities for property tax freezes and year-round sunshine? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you think Harlingen is sleepy, wait till you meet the next town. It's basically Harlingen's quieter cousin who still lives with their parents. Number 21, Mission, Texas. Population, 85,800. It sits right next to McAllen, which makes it either conveniently close or annoyingly dependent, depending on who you ask. Mission is one of those towns that only exists because someone drew a city limit line between it and its bigger neighbor. But here's the thing, it's cheaper. Median home price, around $143,000. Rent for a one-bedroom averages $690 per month. Cost of living, approximately 24% below the U.S. average. Same Texas perks, no income tax, property tax freeze. But Mission's real problem is personality. It doesn't have one. Mission Regional Medical Center is right in town. A 300-plus bed facility with emergency services, surgery, and a heart institute. And if you need specialty care, McAllen's hospitals are 10 minutes away. Climate mirrors Harlingen. Summers are brutal, but winters are divine. The dining scene is mostly chain restaurants. Downtown feels like it's still recovering from 2008. And let's be real, if you're moving to Mission, you're probably spending half your time in McAllen anyway. Good for budget-first retirees who want proximity to amenities without paying McAllen prices. Not for anyone who values having their own town identity, instead of being the affordable one next door. Quick comparison. Harlingen has personality and community. Mission has cheaper rent, and that's it. Harlingen wins, unless you're literally just counting pennies. So let me ask you, could you handle living in a town that's basically a suburb without the main city? Yes or nah? This town works. If affordability is your top priority, the next one costs more, but solves a problem. This town doesn't. Number 20, Brownsville, Texas, so close to Mexico, you can literally walk there. And yes, some people do, for cheaper dental work. This border city sits at the southernmost tip of Texas, where the Rio Grande empties into the Gulf. And spring break never really happened, because nobody told the college kids it exists. Population, 187,800. Median home price, around $255,000. One-bedroom rent averages $878 per month, which is 46% below the national average. Cost of living sits about 15% lower than the U.S. average. Texas tax magic applies here too. Moving on to what actually matters, Valley Regional Medical Center is your main healthcare facility. It's a 214-bed acute care hospital with over 200 physicians, and it's the only accredited chest pain center in Cameron County. Translation? If your heart decides to stage a protest, they've got you. Climate-wise, Brownsville is relentlessly hot. Summer highs hit 95 to 98 degrees from May through September. But here's the kicker. Winters are paradise. But let's talk risk. Brownsville has an extreme wind factor. Hurricanes are real, and 99% of properties here face severe wind risk over the next 30 years. Insurance costs reflect that reality. And remember, we're building toward a number one that fixes most of these problems. Good for budget-focused retirees who want warmth, proximity to Mexico, and don't mind hurricane season drama. Not for anyone who thinks evacuation route shouldn't be part of retirement vocabulary. A Redditor said it perfectly. Brownsville is cheap, warm, and culturally rich. Just remember to double-check your insurance policy and your roof. So let me ask you, would you live 10 minutes from an international border if it saved you $1,000 a month? Comment below. Number 19, Yuma, Arizona, where the sun doesn't just shine, it dominates. This place gets 310 sunny days per year, making it one of the sunniest cities on planet Earth. Population, 95,500. Yuma sits in Arizona's southwest corner, wedged between California and Mexico. It's hot, it's affordable, and it's proof that some people genuinely enjoy living inside an oven. Median home price, around $267,000. One-bedroom rent averages $1,025 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 7% below the national average, which isn't dramatic, but it helps. Arizona doesn't tax Social Security income. Property taxes in Yuma County average around 0.65%, which is extremely reasonable. Healthcare here is solid. The main facility is Yuma Regional Medical Center, a 406-bed acute care hospital, offering trauma services, cardiac care, and a cancer center, with patient reviews that are surprisingly strong. Now let's talk climate. Yuma is aggressively hot. The heat index can push 115 degrees. This isn't bring a hat hot. This is your car's steering wheel can give you second-degree burns hot. But winters, glorious, November through March, hovers around 70 to 75 degrees with zero humidity. Snowbirds flock here for a reason. The trade-off? Yuma is isolated. It's 2.5 hours to Phoenix, 3 hours to San Diego. Entertainment options are limited. The town basically shuts down in summer because nobody in their right mind goes outside. Good for retirees who worship the sun, hate humidity, and don't mind spending summers indoors with the AC cranked to Arctic. Not for anyone who thinks 110 degrees sounds like a typo. One local put it perfectly. Yuma's cheap, sunny, and peaceful. Just don't open your car door at 2 p.m. unless you want to meet God. Be honest, could you handle 110-degree summers? If winters were perfect and rent was under $1,100, drop your answer. And if you thought Yuma was hot, wait till the next place. At least Yuma has a hospital you can pronounce. Number 18, Lake Havasu City, Arizona, home to the actual London Bridge, which was disassembled in England and rebuilt here in 1971 because apparently Arizona needed a British monument. Surrounded by 300 days of sunshine. Population, 57,100. This town sits on the Arizona-California border along the Colorado River, which means lakefront living without coastal prices. Median home price, around $395,000. One-bedroom rent averages $1,150 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 2% above the national average. So it's not a screaming deal, but waterfront living rarely is. Arizona perks: no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, property tax around 0.68% in Mojave County. Havasu Regional Medical Center is your primary facility. A 162-bed acute care hospital offering emergency services, surgical care, and a birthing center. It's not Mayo Clinic, but for a town this size, it's respectable. Climate-wise, Lake Havasu is brutal in summer. We're talking 110 to 115 degrees from June through August. The lake helps, but only if you're actually in it. Step onto pavement, and your shoes might melt. Here's the thing about Lake Havasu. It's a party town. Spring break energy, never fully left. Boat culture dominates. If you're not into jet skis, pontoons, and lake bars, you'll feel out of place. Good for active retirees who love boating, don't mind crowd, and can afford slightly higher costs for waterfront access. Not for introverts, anyone on a strict budget, or people who think lake culture sounds exhausting. All right, we're entering the danger zone now. The next 5 towns are where people actually retire rich, or at least smart. Number 17, Green Valley, Arizona. This is one of those places that doesn't even pretend to be anything other than a retirement town. Population, 22,600. It's technically an unincorporated community, about 30 minutes south of Tucson, and the median age here is 67 years old. You read that right. If you're under 50, you'll be the youngest person at the grocery store. Median home price, around $260,000. One-bedroom rent averages $950 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 5% below the national average. Arizona perks apply. No state income tax. Social Security untaxed. Property taxes around 0.9% in Pima County. Healthcare is excellent. You're 30 minutes from Tucson's major hospitals. But locally, you've got Santa Cruz Valley Regional Hospital in nearby Green Valley. A smaller facility with emergency care and basic services. For specialty care, Banner University Medical Center Tucson is the go-to, and it's one of Arizona's top hospitals. Green Valley sits at 2,900 feet elevation, so it's cooler than Phoenix or Yuma. Summer highs hit 100 to 103 degrees, but it's dry heat. Here's the catch. Green Valley is aggressively quiet. There's no nightlife. Entertainment is golf, hiking, and bingo at the community center. If you need stimulation beyond pickleball tournaments, you're driving to Tucson. Good for retirees who want a quiet, senior-focused community with easy access to Tucson's amenities. Not for anyone under 60 who doesn't want to feel like they're auditioning for a retirement home brochure. One resident joked, "Green Valley is great if you love golf and hate surprises. The wildest thing that happens here is someone's garage door opens at 9 p.m. And if Green Valley felt too quiet, the next place somehow made quiet competitive." Number 16, McAllen, Texas, the unofficial capital of the Rio Grande Valley, and proof that affordable retirement still exists in America. Population, 148,800. This is the biggest city on our list so far, which means actual amenities, Target, Costco, and restaurants. That aren't Dairy Queen. Median home price, around $212,000. One-bedroom rent averages $970 per month. Cost of living sits about 18% below the national average. Texas perks, no state income tax. Social Security untaxed. Property tax freeze for seniors. Property taxes in Hidalgo County average around 2.3%, which is higher than ideal. But again, no income tax. Healthcare here is strong. McAllen Medical Center and Rio Grande Regional Hospital are both full-service facilities with cardiac care, cancer treatment, and surgical services. For a border town, McAllen punches way above its weight in healthcare quality. Climate mirrors the rest of the valley. Summers are punishing, 95 to 100 degrees from May through September, with brutal humidity. Here's what makes McAllen work. It's not isolated. You've got shopping, dining, culture, and proximity to South Padre Island if you want beach access. Now, here's the part most people miss. Not for anyone allergic to humidity or who thinks border town automatically means dangerous. It's not. Crime is below the state average. A local said it best. McAllen is the best kept secret in Texas. Just don't complain about the heat. We're tired of hearing it. And if McAllen felt like the best of Texas, the next place is basically McAllen's cooler. Richer cousin, Number 15, Ocala, Florida, where horses outnumber people at traffic lights and retirees spend their afternoons debating whether thoroughbreds or quarter horses make better neighbors. Population, 63,600. This is Florida's horse country. Rolling green hills, massive farms, and a vibe that feels more Kentucky than Gulf Coast. Homes here typically go for around $285,000. One-bedroom rent averages $1,095 per month, which is 33% below the national average. Cost of living, approximately 10% lower than the U.S. average. Florida perks, no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, property taxes in Marion County. Average around 0.98%. Healthcare, Ocala Regional Medical Center and Advent Health Ocala are both full-service hospitals with cardiac care, cancer treatment, and surgical services. Climate-wise, Ocala is hot, but not Gulf Coast brutal. Summer highs hit 91 to 93 degrees from June through August. Here's what makes Ocala weird. It's not coastal. You're an hour from the Gulf, an hour from the Atlantic, but that inland location means cheaper real estate and way fewer hurricanes. Good for retirees who want affordable Florida without beach prices, love nature, and don't mind the smell of horses. So let me ask you, would you trade beach access for lower cost of living and horse farms? Drop your take. And if Ocala felt like Florida's countryside, the next place is basically Florida's winter escape. For people escaping winter. Number 14, Winter Garden, Florida. Population, 45,000. Once a sleepy citrus town, now a polished suburban gem where yoga moms on beach cruisers outnumber actual beach access. This place sits 25 minutes west of Orlando, and it feels like someone took a Hallmark movie, added craft breweries, and slapped a farmer's market on top. The market here is hovering around $465,000 and rising fast. One-bedroom rent averages $1,780 per month. Cost of living sits roughly 7% above the national average. Florida perks apply, no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, but property taxes in Orange County average around 1.1%. You're 20 minutes from Advent Health Orlando and Orlando Health, both top-tier hospital systems. Climate mirrors Central Florida. Summer highs push 92 to 94 degrees from May through September, with afternoon thunderstorms. Winters are perfection, low 70s, sunny, breezy. Here's Winter Garden's identity. It's polished, cobblestone streets, boutique shops, wine bars with names like Cork and Theory, not for budget-first retirees or anyone allergic to the phrase artisanal. Reddit nailed it. Winter Garden is what happens when a small town gets a Pinterest makeover and forgets to lower the rent. So let me ask you, could you pay $1,780 a month for walkability and craft beer? Or would you rather save $700 and live somewhere less Instagrammable? Drop it in the comments, and if Winter Garden felt too polished, the next place threw polish out the window and went full sun, fun, and slightly sketchy. Number 13, Corpus Christi, Texas. This city is home to roughly 320,000 residents. It's the biggest city on this list so far, and proof that affordable beach towns still exist, if you're willing to overlook a few things. This Gulf Coast city sits halfway between Houston and the Mexican border, and it's got beaches, culture, and rent that won't make you weep. A realistic budget here is right around $257,000 for a house. One-bedroom rent averages $1,055 per month. Cost of living sits approximately 9% below the national average. Texas perks, no state income tax, Social Security untaxed, and a property tax freeze for seniors over 65. Healthcare is solid. Christi Spohn Hospital Corpus Christi is the main facility. A level 2 trauma center with cardiac care, cancer treatment, and a strong regional reputation. Bay Area Medical Center and Corpus Christi Medical Center round out your options. Climate is aggressively humid. Summer highs hit 93 to 95 degrees from June through September, but Gulf breezes do help. Here's the catch. Corpus has a reputation problem. Crime is higher than the state average. Infrastructure feels dated, and hurricane risk is real, but locals love it fiercely. Good for retirees who want beach access, big city amenities, and don't mind a little grit. Not for anyone who thinks coastal living should come with pristine sidewalks and zero potholes. Okay, time out. By now, you've probably noticed none of these towns are perfect. Each one solves a problem and creates another. And if you're still here, you're serious about this. Because what's coming next aren't just towns. They're the places real estate agents gatekeep from average buyers.